I have lost about probably 15 to 25 of my people I grew up with. All of them got killed for different reasons. Just wrong place, wrong time. Both of my parents was incarcerated by the time I was 2. My mother was locked up for forgery, and my father was locked up for bank robbery. My father had a 10 to 30 sentence, and my mother had 10 years in the feds. My mother ended up going back to jail for a year, but she gave me a little brother before she went back, and I ended up raising my little brother. God be told, I lost him when he was 18. People killed him, man. He broke the crap game up and they killed him. It took a lot of years for that pain to leave and for me to find some peace.
Our data is really showing that a lot of these just petty arguments, just not being able to process anger is leading to a lot of the homicides that we've been seeing.
I had an associate. He was a real cool dude. At one time, man, we was really, really tight. A person was jealous of him. I could not believe they killed him. My little brother, the situation with the dudes was his friend wasn't getting along with the people. So it's just a lot of different reasons why somebody ended up pulling out that gun.
We're talking about people who have lost hope, people who are at risk, deeply traumatized, and have also run out of options.
I know why people get killed. The number one reason is power. People want to feel empowered. People want to feel strong. And all it takes is meet up with somebody to feel that way and you feel that way. Somebody's gonna die. Somebody going to jail. So obviously both of y'all lose in the end.
One of the strongest predictors that someone will become involved in gun violence is being close to someone else who's involved in gun violence. So if you know a shooter, if you're friends with a victim, you're at increasingly higher risk.
When you try to explain a jealousy that'll give a person a reason to kill another man, it's really not even in words, man. The pain or the envy or I don't want to say destruction, man, that some people put in their heads. I can't sit here and say it without telling myself that I used to think like that.
One crew will have a rapper that disparages another crew, and then that becomes, we have to stand up for ourselves. They're not gonna stand up to it and rap back like we may have had several years ago. Now it's, okay, you've offended me, I'm going to the gun.
Have you ever hated somebody? You ever thought about hurting them? Never to the extent where you wanted to take somebody's life.
The pandemic has influenced the transactional nature that human beings are having right now across the board. A lot of what you would see before as word beefs be taken out much more in the realm of gunplay.
Petty insults could be a problem, but I believe it's probably more envious and jealousy and disrespecting each other. I've never known somebody to be jealous of that person, not because they the star basketball player or they drive the biggest car in the school. No, they just jealous of you. They don't like nothing about you.
Just below half of the violence that we're seeing is only in about 151 blocks in the city.
When we look at who is actually involved in these incidents as victims or suspects, a substantial portion of those individuals are group and gang involved, even though a group or gang dispute isn't at the heart of that incident.
DC doesn't really have a problem with the big gangs like Bloods or the Crips, but they do have these local kind of neighborhood turf gangs.
Probably mid-20s of the ones that are truly active. Some of it is a drug game thing, but a lot of it's not. A lot of it's just, this is my crew, this is my area. It goes back to their grandfather. For folks like you and I, it's unfathomable, but it's not. in our community right now.
Start when we kids. I think all kids got it. When you're in the right home, when you're in the right environment, you get taught what's right and what's wrong. But when you're not in that right environment, when you're not in that right community, when your mother and father hate people just as much as you do, that grow in you. And how it come out? A lot of times in that knife or that gun.